Hello everyone, and welcome to the random roller coaster review for April of 2024. This time, we will be reviewing Iron Rattler at Six Flags Fiesta Texas. So let's just jump right into this. Iron Rattler was the second hybrid coaster ever built by Rocky Mountain Construction, or RMC. The ride reaches a height of 179 feet, a top speed of 70 miles per hour, and has a track length of 3,266 feet. As for the queue, there's not too much theming, but there is some rock work and a little bit of foliage in the windy lower section before riders ascend what feels like 20 ramps to reach the very tall station. You will then board into your super comfortable train. To me, these Gerstlauer trains are by far the best hybrid coaster train, as the restraints don't staple you and you have a lot more freedom of movement, as you're not as low down in these. In the newer trains, whether they're the Generation 1 or the Generation 2 with the dual steering axles, you kind of feel like you're sitting in a bucket. These are more like a traditional coaster seat. Also, the lap bar is more comfortable. It's more of a T-bar style with like a saddle horn as your grip, so it's not as heavy and it doesn't staple as bad as some of the other ones. I also really liked the theming of these trains. The giant snake head on the front and the rattle on the back look even more menacing when the train is flying at 70 miles an hour along the track. And the silver and rusted color scheme along with the faux metal pieces fits the hybrid idea perfectly, as well as that little Easter egg attached to the side of the storage track, or storage building, that being Iron Horse Metal Company or something like that, because that was the original name for the hybrid treatment, was Iron Horse. Now let's get into the actual ride portion of this review. After dispatching from the station, the train rolls through the straight transfer track segment before descending a 180-degree left-hand turn into the lift. When I rode Iron Rattler during Roller Coaster Rodeo last summer, the ride had just received a new chain lift, so the ascent was fast, smooth, and quiet with the new silencer. As the train crests the lift, the track banks slightly before riders plunge down, delivering sustained ejector to all rows of the train. The track then banks right before banking back left as the ride pulls out through a tunnel while providing amazing sustained positive G-forces and some pretty good whip. Also, riding at night, that tunnel comes out of nowhere, especially in the front row. Although I will say it's more of a covering than a tunnel. The train unbanks and ascends the cliff in a massive step-up maneuver that delivers a small pop of strong floater airtime. The train then continues up into a wave turn to the left that delivers a small amount of whip, but not much more. The train unbanks before banking again into a low-to-the-ground wave turn that hugs the top of the cliff wall and feels very similar to the first one with whip and very little airtime. The train remains banked left before diving off the cliff wall and turning so that the track pulls up and passes over the step-up in a pretty powerful display of G-forces. This is another one of those RMC hybrids that focuses a good amount on positive G-forces and not so much deadly ejector airtime. The train then descends before whipping right through a pretty floaty but whippy barrel roll that places the train back on the wall again. This next segment has been nicknamed the Quarry Crawl, but it definitely was not crawling when I rode it in the middle of summer. The train exits the barrel roll into a sharp airtime hill that delivers a sharp pop of floater before banking right into a small wave turn that doesn't do too much, but provides a little weightless feeling. The train then unbanks and whips left into a wave turn in the opposite direction that continues turning right, providing a small pop of airtime before whipping back right and turning 90 degrees right again. The train then unbanks into a small airtime hill that delivers another small floater pop before ascending what looks like a normal airtime hill, but is definitely much more. As the train crests, riders see the massive drop below them. Now to me, this is the most overrated element on the ride, but the train plunges down the drop, delivering a sustained floater, but it's not as powerful nor as whippy as the first drop. About 3/4 of the way down the drop, the train banks and turns to the left in the most forceful moment on the ride. It then continues turning left before rocketing into a tunnel in the cliff wall. Partway through the tunnel, the train whips from left to right while riders are in almost total darkness. As the exit of the tunnel gets closer, the track begins to ascend. The train exits the tunnel before unbanking and snapping downwards into the first portion of final brake run. This element doesn't whip. It drags riders into an upright position and is a little rough and very violent with a good pop of ejector airtime, but is still a lot of fun. Overall, Iron Rattler is a phenomenal RMC hybrid. The ride is super smooth with some really comfortable trains. It doesn't have as much airtime moments as the other hybrids, but the ones it does have are really good. The ride also pulls some really good forces in the valleys. For me, this is one of my favorite first drops in an RMC. The whip of the slightly twisted nature combined with the tunnel just makes it amazing. The ride to me is a powerhouse that focuses more on speed than airtime. Also, I love how the train interacts with the cliff wall. It's just phenomenal to jump back up and then dive back down, as I'm a big fan of terrain coasters. In my overall rankings for 2023, Iron Rattler ranked at number 15 out of 231. So I would say overall I thoroughly enjoyed the ride. But that's it for this review. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time.